Have you ever felt that, no matter how hard you try, the money is never enough? Do you work hard, but the bills keep coming, and your dreams of a peaceful financial life seem increasingly distant? Maybe you are making mistakes that, without realizing it, are sabotaging your progress. But don't worry, you're not alone. Thousands of people go through this every day, and I've been exactly in your shoes. The good news is that there is a solution. In this video, I'll reveal the 5 financial habits that are keeping you stuck in the same place, and more importantly, how you can eliminate them for good and finally take the first steps towards financial freedom. If you want to transform your relationship with money, stop chasing bills, and start building a real future, subscribe to the channel now. Here, you will find practical tips that are easy to apply and that really work. Plus, by signing up, you'll be joining a community that believes in the power of financial education to change lives. So, get ready to identify the mistakes that are slowing down your life and discover how to turn the game around. Let's go together on this quest towards prosperity. Press play and come with me. 1. Avoid changing cell phones frequently. Charles was a young man determined to change his life. At 25, he worked hard, but there never seemed to be any money left. Every month, as he reviewed his budget, he asked himself, "Where am I going wrong?" One day, during a coffee with his friend Julius, something clicked. Julius commented that he had had the same cell phone for 4 years and did not intend to change it anytime soon. Charles was surprised. "But what do you mean? Don't you feel like buying the newest one?" Julius replied calmly, "For what? My cell phone works perfectly. That money is better used for other things." Charles returned home thinking. He looked at the cell phone he had recently bought, still paid in 12 installments. He realized he was stuck in a cycle. They launched a new model. He felt he needed it and made a huge effort to buy it. The problem is that this effort was expensive. He spent a significant part of what he earned to follow trends that didn't change his life. Upon researching further, Charles understood the impact. Buying the latest cell phone was not just an immediate expense, but a liability that consumed your money. He started asking simple questions. Do I want to really need this? Can I pay without compromising my budget? Does this expense bring a real benefit? With these reflections, he discovered that he was investing in something that only fueled his anxiety about appearing updated. He made a decision. He started to take better care of his devices, only changing them when daily use required them. With the money that was previously spent on cell phones, Charles began to invest in something more significant: financial education and small investments. In just a few years, he saw his money grow, while his cell phone, even though it wasn't the newest model, continued to work perfectly. This story about Charles is common. Many of us fall into the trap of consumerism, believing that we need the latest to be relevant. The truth is, by resisting these impulsive purchases, we make room to build something much more valuable. Think about it. The cell phone you buy today will be outdated in a few months, but the money you save could open doors that will change your life. If you're on the path to a more financially stable life, remember, letting go of material objects is not about deprivation. It's about freedom. Prioritize what really matters and see how small changes can have big impacts. Not future. When was the last time you reflected on the need for a purchase? Maybe now is the time to think differently. If Charles could do it, so can you. 2. Limit unplanned parties. We all deserve leisure time, right? That Friday night with friends, relaxing after a long week, may seem like the perfect escape. But what happens when this escape becomes a pattern that drains your finances and compromises your goals? Let's reflect on this clearly and understand how to balance fun and responsibility. Imagine that you receive your salary at the beginning of the month. On the first weekend, he decides to go out with his friends to a party. The enthusiasm is so much that you don't notice the expenses accumulating. Tickets, drinks, transport, maybe even a dinner. On Monday, when you review what was spent, you realize that more than 30% of your salary went away in a single night. And what's left of the month? Bills to pay, commitments, and the need to tighten your belt to compensate. This scenario is more common than it seems. Celebrating without planning can be the biggest enemy of financial progress. It's okay to have fun, But when this is done without control, the impact goes beyond your pocket. It generates stress, anxiety, and even frustration for not seeing your goals being achieved. So, how to solve it? The answer lies in planning. Before heading out for the weekend, set a spending limit. You can establish a value that fits your budget without compromising other priorities. For example, if you set aside $200 for leisure each month, only use that amount and never more than that. This way you can enjoy it without guilt. Also, consider more economical alternatives. How about a get-together at home with friends? Games, movies, and good conversations can be just as fun as an expensive outing. Another idea is to explore free or low-cost events in your city, such as shows, exhibitions, or cultural fairs. Often, these moments are even more enriching than traditional ballot scripts. If you really want to change your relationship with money, it's essential to understand that working just to pay for parties is not sustainable. Think about it. Every dollar spent today is one less dollar invested in your future. Of course, it's not about stopping living, but about living more consciously. Now, before I continue, let me make a special request. If these ideas are making sense to you and helping to open your eyes to a healthier relationship with your finances, leave a like. This shows me that I'm on the right path to bringing content that really matters and can transform lives. Finally, remember, balance is key. Have fun, yes, but do it responsibly. Your future self will thank you for the choices you made today. 3. Say no to branded clothing as a status symbol. Have you ever stopped to think about how much that branded piece of clothing that looks irresistible in the window costs? Now, more importantly, does it really add value to your life or just to your wardrobe? Let's talk about how this choice can directly impact your finances and your future. Imagine a scenario. Taylor, a 28-year-old young woman, has just received her salary. On the way home, he saw a promotion for a branded jacket. She didn't resist. Even though he knew that the amount represented almost half of what he earned that month, he paid in 6 installments on the card and left the store beaming. Now I have something that everyone will notice, he thought. In the first few weeks, Taylor wore the jacket with pride, but over time, she realized that its impact was not that significant. People praised it, but soon forgot. Meanwhile, she dealt with the constant worry of paying the installments as she had tightened her budget. This cycle is common. Designer clothing is often associated with a sense of status and prosperity. However, what many don't realize is that this prosperity is just an illusion. Buying expensive pieces without having a solid financial foundation not only drains resources, but also creates a cycle of debt. Here's a simple truth. Clothes are basic necessities, but designer clothes are luxuries. If your goal is to build a financially stable life, prioritize the essentials and direct the money you would spend on expensive pieces to something that will really make a difference in the long term, such as investments or education. Now think about it. Do you really need that $500 t-shirt? Many times, people buy to impress others, but the person who is really impacted by this choice is you. The feeling of status is momentary, while the financial impact can last months or even years. If you want to escape this cycle, here's some simple practices that can help. Plan your purchases. Before purchasing a piece of clothing, ask yourself, do I really need this? And can I afford it without compromising my budget? If the answer is no, reconsider. Invest in quality, not brand. There are good quality clothing options without the price inflated by a famous logo. Research and choose pieces that will last, but are also within your budget. Adopt a functional wardrobe. Having fewer but more versatile pieces can be more efficient than accumulating branded items that will rarely be worn. Avoid impulse purchases. Before purchasing, take time to think. Often, the desire to purchase something diminishes after a few days. Now, an important question. Have you ever bought something expensive just to impress and regretted it later? Share your experience in the comments. I want to know how you deal with these situations. For those who have already achieved financial stability, buying branded clothes may just be an additional pleasure. But for most, it is an expense that can delay bigger dreams. Remember, it's better to have resources to invest in your future while wearing basic clothes than to look rich on the outside and be in debt on the inside. 4. Reconsider vehicle financing. Having a car is, for many, a milestone of independence and achievement. But did you know that financing a vehicle can be one of the worst financial decisions someone can make if it is not done with planning? Let's explore why this happens and how you can avoid falling into this trap. First, it is important to understand the real financial impact of financing. Imagine that Robert, a 24-year-old young man, got his first steady job. Excited about the increase in income, he decided to finance a new car. The value? $60,000, paid in 48 installments. Sounds feasible, right? The problem began when Robert realized that, in addition to the installments, he would need to pay for insurance, maintenance, fuel, taxes, and vehicle depreciation. At the end of the month, more than 40% of his income was committed to the car alone. And there's more. The value of the car began to depreciate quickly. In just 4 years, that vehicle that cost $60,000 was worth less than half, but Robert still had installments to pay. He realized he was trapped in a cycle. He worked hard, but much of his financial effort went into maintaining something that lost value every day. This scenario is more common than it seems. Many see financing as the only way to purchase a car, but ignore the hidden costs. Here are some points that need to be considered before deciding to finance. Depreciation. A new car can lose up to 20% of its value in the first year and up to 60% in 4 years. This means that at the end of the financing, you could be paying for something that is worth much less. Interest and extra costs. When financing, you pay interest which, in the long term, can make the car cost twice its original value. Additionally, there are costs such as vehicle taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Compromising your budget. Financing a car without planning can compromise a large part of your income, limiting your ability to invest, save, or even deal with emergencies. Now, how to escape this trap? Here are some effective strategies. Plan and save. Instead of financing, start saving a monthly amount to buy a used car outright. This may take longer, but it saves money in the long run. Consider used cars. Pre-owned vehicles offer excellent value for money, as they have already gone through the highest depreciation phase. Additionally, you can negotiate better prices when paying in cash. Assess the real need. Do you really need a car now? In many cases, public transport, carpooling, or mobility apps can be more economical options. Research rates and terms. If financing is unavoidable, take the time to look for the best interest rates and payment terms. Remember to include all costs in the planning. Finally, it is essential to change your mindset. Having a car is a symbol of comfort, but it shouldn't be a financial burden. The freedom that a vehicle provides is not worth the stress of living in debt. Prioritize your financial future, save, and invest smartly. Are you thinking about financing a car, or have you ever been in this situation? Share how you handle this financial decision. Let's learn together. 5. Avoid gambling and credit card pitfalls. Imagine the following scenario. Donald, a 27-year-old young man, was in a group of friends discussing how good it would be to make money quickly. One of them mentioned a sports betting app that looked promising. With just $100, you can win up to $1,000 in a single game, said the friend excitedly. Donald, always looking to improve his financial situation, was tempted. After all, it seemed like an easy opportunity to increase your income. That same night, Donald downloaded the app and started betting. At first, he was lucky and won a few rounds. This excited him even more, and he decided to increase the bet amounts. It's just a question of strategy. If I continue like this, I might even quit my job, he thought. However, within a few weeks, luck changed. The losses began to pile up, and he realized he had already spent more than he could afford. To continue betting, Donald started using his credit card. The illusion of easy money led him into a dangerous cycle. He gambled to recover what he had lost, but this only increased his debts. Within a few months, the card's limit was maxed out, high interest rates began to accumulate, and Donald found himself in a chaotic financial situation. This cycle is not exclusive to Donald. Many people enter the world of gambling or use credit cards without control, believing that it is a solution to improve their finances. However, the reality is that these practices often lead to debt and financial instability. The credit card, in particular, is a powerful but also a dangerous tool. Its ease of use can be deceiving, leading to impulsive purchases and spending beyond what you can afford. When combined with gambling, the situation becomes even more critical, creating a perfect storm for financial disaster. Now, how to avoid these pitfalls? Here are some practical strategies. Avoid gambling. Gambling may seem harmless, but it is designed to benefit the house, not the player. Quick returns may be attractive, but losses are almost always inevitable. Swap the idea of easy money for real strategies, such as long-term investments. Use your credit card wisely. The card should not be seen as an extension of your income. Before using it, ask yourself, can I pay for this purchase in full on the next due date? If the answer is no, avoid the expense. Set usage limits. Keep card usage below 30% of the total available limit. This not only helps with financial control, but also improves your credit score. Avoid the minimum payment. Paying only the minimum invoice amount is a common pitfall. Interest accruing quickly makes the debt much larger than its original value. If possible, pay the invoice in full, or at least as much as you can. Prioritize real investments. Instead of gambling or spending impulsively, direct your money to investments that generate true returns. Research options such as fixed income funds, stocks, or even creating an emergency fund. Donald, after realizing the mistakes he made, decided to change his approach. He canceled his accounts on betting apps, sought to renegotiate his card debts, and began studying financial education. Little by little, he regained control of his financial life and learned to value the money he earned with effort. Your story is a warning to us all. The promise of quick money, whether through gambling or rampant credit card use, is often a path to trouble. True financial stability comes from conscious choices, planning, and patience. Remember, there is no shortcut to financial success. With every decision you make today, whether to spend or invest, you are shaping your future. How about reflecting on how you are using your money? Is it working for you or against you? Make smart decisions and reap the rewards in the long term. Building a healthy financial life is not something that happens overnight, but is a direct result of the choices we make every day. Avoiding habits such as constantly changing cell phones, unplanned parties, buying expensive clothes for status, poorly thought-out financing, and impulsive bets are simple but powerful steps to achieving the stability and financial freedom we so desire. Remember, the secret is not how much you earn, but how you use what you have. By changing small attitudes, you will notice big changes in your relationship with money and in the opportunities that will come your way. If this content helped you reflect and brought value to your life, now I ask you a special favor. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more tips like these. Leave your like so I know I'm on the right path, and comment below which of these habits you most need to adjust or are already adjusting. I really want to know your opinion and exchange ideas with you. Also, share this video with your friends and family. Maybe someone close to you needs this guidance to transform their relationship with money and take the first steps towards financial freedom. Thank you very much for watching this far. Let's build a life of more intelligent choices and prosperity together. Until the next video.